Okay guys, back for segment 2. This is how to open your own hobby store. I'm just going to try to go through this. I have to keep these videos less than 10 minutes. I did one a minute ago and it was like 15, so I'm going to go through this and explain how I did it pretty much. So the first thing I did was market. First thing you want to do is go in your town and make sure that there is a market for the product, for sports cards and the product you're selling. That's basically for anything you're going to do, but you just have to make sure there's a market for it in that area. If there's a market and you know people do like the cards and they will come in a hobby store, not necessarily yours, but they will go in one and they do pretty good business, then you have a market for it. In my town there was only one, so I figured, and I knew a lot of people that like to do it, so I figured I had a market. So that was the first thing I determined before opening my store. Number 2, location. Location on this one is not as important as you think for this type of store. The lucky thing about hobby cards and sports cards and hobby boxes is if people want it, they have to come to you. It's not like your McDonald's or Walmart or Burger King or something where it's kind of, if it's in a great location, they get a lot more business than if it's not. In this business, if they like it and they want it, they will come to you because there's not a lot in your town usually. You're not competing with 5 to 10 other places. Usually it's 1 or 2, if not sometimes 0, and you're the only one. So they would definitely find you if you do the naturally right advertising and let them know you're out there. If you look at my first hobby store tour video, you will notice I was in a lawyer's office. I turned a lawyer's office downtown hidden into a hobby store, and that's where I got started. Very cheap rent and got me going because I figured if I get a little advertising out there, people would come find me, and that's what happened. So location, I know in most business classes they'll say location, 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 but in this business, not necessarily as important. So try to keep this video not as boring. I'm kind of moving along, so here we go. Third, business necessities. You've figured out there's a market, you found a great location for your price range, and you're going to need your business necessities to get started. So you've rented the business, now you have to go down to your local city tax office or city office, or I don't know exactly what it's called in everyone's city, but you have to get a register for a business license and register your business name. You need to file your business name with the Department of Revenue. This is because you're selling a product that requires sales tax and you will have to pay sales tax. So you need to do that, unless you're in a state that doesn't have sales tax. Then you get all the necessary utility bills, put in your name, phone, internet, electric, water, trash, etc. And then some advertising. I started off with the advertisement in the phone books and an advertising in the sports section of my local paper. Kind of expensive in the beginning, but like I say, you want to get your name out there. And there's many cheap ways to do advertising as well with local youth groups and sports groups and high schools. You can if you know people that are affiliated with those type of things, you give them stacks of flyers and have them give them out to people. I mean, it's really, really cheap and a way to get your name out there. And that's what you're trying to do in the beginning. But, phone's ringing. I'm going to hang that up. So next, we have store details. So I'm going to repeat every step all the way up to each one again. You've figured out there's a market, you found a great location, and now you've registered your business and got all the bills and everything put in your name. So now you have to decorate your store. You get your family members and friends and everybody, and you paint the store, get the carpet and everything you like, get all the shelves and everything you're going to do with your store. If you notice in my stores, I basically just sell hobby boxes. I don't do a lot of singles. I think hobby boxes are fun, they're exciting, it's the thrill of the hunt, and I really enjoy it, so I kind of focus on that. So I don't do jerseys, sign balls, and sign a bunch of singles and stuff. But you figure out what you want to do, and that's what you do. You set up your signs on your windows and outside, and you get your inventory for your store. I'll explain next how you get the inventory. There's manufacturers and distributors. In the beginning, you won't be able to order from them. You have to basically order from a wholesaler, and you have to fill your store up. To get an account with the manufacturer and distributor, you have to prove to them that you actually own a physical hobby store. To do that, you have to have your store full of merchandise. Once you do that, you take pictures of every angle of your store, everything in your store, outside and in, and you have to send them copies, or actually I think they require the real copy of the phone bill, electric bill, advertisement, along with real photos of your whole store in and out and the signage. And once you send all that in and they approve you, then you can start ordering from the manufacturer / distributors. One thing about manufacturers like Upper Deck, Dunners, and Tops, a lot of people think you can reorder from them at any time. Like right now you could order 07, 08 Exquisite. That's not the case. You're allocated so much amount. Most hobby stores is around one case. You're allocated, and after that, you have to order from a distributor, which is more expensive, but That's the way it works. These manufacturers make a limited amount of product, and they have to get allocated out to all these hobby stores. So everyone's usually allocated around one case. Once you get your one case, it's done, and you have to order from distributors. So there's no reordering old product. You can only order, you can pre-order something that's coming out in the future, and once you get that, you're done. I mean, you don't get any more. So you have to go to a distributor or somebody else to order your cases for your store or boxes. So that's how that works. And now it's open time. So to recap the steps, you basically figured out there was a market in your area that would work. You found a location that you think will work for you and that's at an affordable price. You set up all your business licenses and registered your business and got all the bills, put in your name and everything. Then you had your family, friends, and everybody come over and decorate your store. And hopefully you did some sort of advertising to get people to know that you're out there. Then you set up your accounts with your manufacturers, so on future purchases you can buy from them your allocated amount, which is usually, like I say, one case, sometimes two. And now it's open time. So I just have a couple tips that I think are necessary to be successful in the business, so to speak, and that you actually have to love sports cards and like talking about them and enjoy it. I mean, if you don't like it, it's going to be a drag because you have to put a lot of hours into this business. If you notice, I put a lot of hours into it. So it's not something you can just work 7 hours a day and be done with it. I mean, you got to go out there and network and everything else if you want to make it work for the most part. And the second one is support your local hobby store. And I say that owning an online website myself, I say that. If it was I think hobby stores are the backbone of the business. They do a lot of the advertising for these companies, get a lot of their product out there, and it's the hobby stores that do it all for the most part. And they're the ones that put a lot of hours into trying to help out the hobby and everything else. And yet it seems like most people want to go online and save $15 or so a box. I understand some hobby stores do charge an extreme amount, and that some of that is ridiculous, but to pay a little extra to go to your hobby store and support those people, that's definitely what I would suggest. If they really need your help. Most people have turned to online for buying, and I'm not saying that because I own an online store, and I would definitely want you to buy from me, but if I had to choose from you supporting Bill down the street that owns a local hobby store that's trying to make a living and stuff, then I would say definitely go support Bill than me, on my online store, that is. Hobby stores definitely need your help. So, but if there's no hobby stores and you just don't want to, buy from me. Thanks. I'm just kidding. But I guess that's about it. I kind of blew through that. That's the quick version of how you start a store. There's probably a lot of intricacies I left out, but for the most part, that's basically what you do to start a store, and hopefully make some money doing it. I mean, it's not something else if you can actually do something you like and actually make money doing it. So you can't beat that. You can either do this or you can do what AR Platinum and the True 17 do. You make about the same amount. I'm just kidding, guys. I actually like those guys. I'm going to be doing a group break, frequently asked question, probably next. And I like AR and the Truth, and I'll explain why. I do like them and think they're doing what they should do. So, alright guys. That's how you open a hobby store. If you have any other questions, comments, leave them below. Okie doke. See ya.